Like deep down inside, and this definitely still applies to women, but deep down inside, they all still definitely prefer to meet their dream guy organically. You know, there's still kind of that old school Hollywood rom-com that they fantasize about. You know, where they kind of want their dream guy to walk through a door in the coffee shop on a Saturday afternoon, or to be scrolling through a library and reach for the same book at the same time and make eye contact. Like they would much rather meet their dream guy in an organic scenario as opposed to having to admit that you met him on Hinge, or having to admit that he DM'd you on Instagram. Like finding that genuine love that I described is definitely way harder nowadays without a doubt. But the reality is there is a strong possibility that we might not find that. And to be honest, not even just average guys, but also high status or high value guys as well. Because the more experiences you have, the more jaded you become. Like even though I try to not make that the case for me, this is the case for a lot of people. The more you elevate, the more you realize you're going to be loved based on what you provide. And this is something that guys with status, wealth, etc., what they realize. The term
Hey, bro, the jaded part right there, he ain't lying, man. I can't tell you how many times. And it wasn't a whole bunch of times, but it was more than a handful. You'll meet a woman, right? I met this woman once, man. This was back in the 90s. And I was still a young man, and I was a lot like Derek. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I was a lot like him. I did then and I do now believe that type of love exists. Now, I wasn't able to capture it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? It does. I meet this woman, right? Like you said, this is before social media and all that. So it was on a random, I forget, we met one of those things where you're walking towards each other and you keep getting each other's way. So we were kind of walking towards each other. I moved to the left and she moved, and we were far away and we literally wound up nose to nose. So I just hugged her. And then she hugged me back. And I was like, what you doing? And she was like, nothing. And we went and got some lemonade. And then that turned into us walking around the park. It was an hour before I even got her name. We hanging out. She didn't know my name. I ain't heard her name. We just hanging out, holding hands the whole nine, bro. It was like a movie. I ain't lying. It was like a movie. Finally, I was like, you know what? What's your name? And she told me her name. I, told her my name. Exchanged information, man. We kicked it. When you talk about an intense week, every single moment of every day for 7 days, we were talking back and forth, doing whatever. Man, it was great. I'm thinking, man, this is perfect. She the one. I mean, she was beautiful, man. Caramel skin, long black hair, no weave. You know what I'm saying? Like fit. She was fine. Like she had a background similar to mine, so she was cool. Nothing really shook her. When she was next to me, I'm like, you don't seem to be nervous. She's like, because I'm with you. And I mean, it was perfect. I'm like, man, she here right here. And I'm like, look, I was in the military. I had to go on a mission. I came back a few weeks later and I went somewhere. I was at Fort Bragg, but I went somewhere away from Fort Bragg. I'm at an event, outdoors, picnic kind of thing. And I see Shorty. We lock eyes and she didn't smile. Instinctively, I knew something wasn't right. So I didn't smile. You know what I'm saying? The dude that invited me to the party comes up, daps me up. You know what I'm saying? It was an associate. We went like tight, but it was an associate. What's up, fam? Whatever. Let me introduce you to my mom because I'm at his crib's backyard barbecue. Let me introduce you to my girl. Right? Here go my girl right here. And it was her. And here I am, the player that I am, bro. Like, I understand the game. Like I understand it's a hard game. Life is a contact sport, like I've been telling y'all. Man, this shit hurt, but I had to keep the face right. I was like, she kept her face right. Right? And we went through the whole get introduced like we didn't know each other. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Where you from? Okay, yeah, I'm from so-and-so. Oh, okay, how long you known, dude? And she's like, got her arm, like she's like holding on to his arm and, got her head on his shoulder and kissing him on the cheek. Man, that shit was hard to sit through. It was hard to sit through. Like, damn, I was crushed because I allowed myself to believe that it was love at first sight and all this, right? So 3 weeks after that, I get a call from a number I didn't recognize. But back then, you didn't recognize no numbers because, it is what it is. We didn't have cell phones like that. Answer the phone, it's her. She over her cousin's house. When I met her, she was at her cousin's house. That's why she was down there where we was at, not up there where she lived. And she got me on the phone. She's like, what you doing? I'm like, nothing. She's like, hey, can you meet me at such and such? So I meet her. And she was just like, yo, I just wanted to tell you I appreciate you keeping it real. I appreciate you. You could have told on me. Again, like she was like me. She was the same as me. Too much like me. Too much like me. She was like, so, and she was like, I could see you could keep a secret. Like our families are close and da-da-da. It's not an arranged thing, but, our families just thought we should be together. And, we've known each other since we was kids and da-da-da. That's what that is up there. But, I travel. Like she's letting me know, like I travel. So yeah, man, it went from this is the girl of my dreams to me and her out here creeping. It was called creeping back in the day. We creeping around. She's still in her relationship and I'm doing what I'm doing. We creeping around. That's when I realized that a man needs to have a rotation. Not needs to, but a man should run a rotation. That's when I realized that. And that's when I realized that men aren't the only ones who run rotations, because just like she was in my rotation, I was in hers. That's when I was like, this game has levels to it. It is what it is. Yeah, if y'all wondering, of course we were smashing. Like I said, dude was just an associate. I ain't really know him like that. He wasn't one of my guys. He was just an associate. So yeah, I was smashing little shorty. And every time, it wasn't a lot, but every now and then I would see dude, because I'd be up there doing what I'm doing. He have her on his arm, and she's like the perfect, dutiful girlfriend. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I'm looking at him. I know exactly how he feels. He's 100% in love. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, that would have been me. Because trust and believe she would do the same thing to me. Like, man, that would have been me. He completely in love with her. I think they wound up getting married. I think they had some kids. I lost track. After I got out of the military, I lost track. They were down south in Carolinas. But I was sitting there like, damn, she cold. She played it like a true G. She's a player. Just like me. So that's all I'm saying, bro. That's how it goes, bro. So what he's talking about the jade, being jaded and all that, it's true, man. It's true. Let's continue.
Gold